Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today here by these guys, Mimeon and Kasmin, and they were talking about this thing last episode. This is apparently a clock made by the changing god. I'm not really sure if it's true, but it looks like we have plenty of things to interact with. But this episode, I wanted to just do something that I really wanted to do before a couple of times already, which is to go to, let's see, that's Cliff's Edge, I imagine. So that's the underbelly, which is basically to find a way to rest. We definitely need that very, very much. Last episode we talked to Philethes over there, and we tried for it to tell us about itself with some persuasion, but he went through all of his intellect in a single episode, and I really don't like that. What is that? Small vandalist phrases are etched into the lower portions of the statues, declarations of love, defamatory attacks, and announcements of localized existence whispering in the stone from across the centuries. Okay, that's just normal par for the course, I guess. With this castle is just, it looks awesome. Where does this go? This leaves the area. Yes, I knew that. The government square. Okay, so that's not where we need to go. Hey, performer. What's up? I saw you before. She still lies beneath those stones. Her spirit trapped inside her bones. And may I share my appreciation again towards... Oh boy, there's things. Towards the fact that the metric of those poems is correct. Anyway, there's a guy called the Genocide. That's his name. Also, we have things in here. This looks like more sort of a might thing, and our might is actually pretty good. So I'll just save the game over here and talk to the Genocide. This burly, armor-clad figure stands almost motionless as you approach. He regards you silently through his singular eye. The studs on his arms and the blades on his shoulders are stained and pitted with age. When he speaks, his voice is muffled and artificial, a hollow grumble that emanates from the entirety of the helmet. I am Genocide. If you ask, I must answer. Pass on, then, and exchange no words. Oh, really? So, it's like the... You and the other guy over there, you wouldn't have a good time. Anyway, his surface thoughts are like a crystal pool, alternatively transparent or else perfectly reflecting his words. His mind reveals nothing hidden, except for a low-level hatred of everything around him. This latter is a more a feeling you get from than an actual thought that you hear. What are you? I am a blade that cannot cut, a weapon that cannot strike, a living monument to failure. He shifts his weight. You hear the frown in his voice. I am Ostegi Tel Kotu, the firm hand of tradition. They called me one of the Black Three. Enemies did not understand us. They took my name to mean death in a dozen extinct tongues. Called me Orphan Maker, Hope Smasher, Death's Child. My armies blackened the earth and the sky. My Dragoliths scoured the land. Dragons indeed. Domination was my duty, he says. If they had known, if they had welcomed us, they might have been our thralls. Instead, they became dust. He gestures. All this, it was to have been mine in stewardship for the future of my people. It was promised, but now, his arms fall back to his side. Now, I am the Genocide. A relict. The last of my kind. You said you were the last of your kind. Why? I know of no others. Kalagath Amvor, he who shares truth and understanding, is dead. Vostule Law, the blinding light of reason, was destroyed. The underspine has fallen. My people are destroyed utterly, and our servant God speaks to us no longer. The clean lines of order and the glory of battle have forsaken us. He pauses. The rest are dust. We rose against a superior foe, and were outmatched. Only I remain to tell the story of the Tabat. Oh, the Tabat. We've heard of you before. Who talked about that? You said you had to answer if I asked. Why? From within the helmet, you hear a grinding noise, the sound of teeth gnashing amplified. Then the voice again, bleak. We sat at the river's edge and we wept for the time that was. We saw nothing more to conquer, and yet our fears still drove us. We had conquered the land, purged its impurities, made it ours. Still we wanted more. When we heard that humans had come to carve a home, we rejoiced to have a new foe, a new test of our truth. We rode against them. We drove them to the forge of the night sky, to the valley of Mirajolios, to the dangers of the Black Riaj, but those who built atop these ruins, they thwarted us. Time and again, and so we brought our constructs and our deadliest warriors to the bay outside the city. We laid a mighty siege. We entered the human settlement. We fought past barricades and traps. Some of our constructs are still here, silent and dead. But when we thought we had achieved our greatest victory, he lowers his head, a powerful nano saved them. With his magics, he called upon the strength of the ancients and captured us. I thought my life was at an end, but he imprisoned me in slow time, trapped me in my body, used machines to paralyze my will. I still remember our glories, and I see the fated future in front of me, and I am powerless to act. The memories of our triumphs remain always at the forefront of my mind, and I must answer the mocking questions of these people, or suffer. Oh. So can you tell me about... I think that's the changing god. Can you tell me about the nano who trapped you here? How did he stop you? The genocide raises his hands and in defeat. He found old knowledge and made it his own. He created defenses that we could not penetrate. Most telling, most effective, the shield generators. He created 3 barriers around the heart of the city, and the last unmoored the city in time. When our constructs touched it, they flashed a stasis. We could not reach the city, but the city could reach us. You feel the tinklings of memory as the genocide speaks of the shields. He continues to talk, oblivious. Let's let that memory come and see what happens. That is indeed, yeah, it's gotta be the changing god. I think this only works for the changing god. Is that how it is for this skill? The memory of the orb in the labyrinth comes upon you again. The orb in the labyrinth. Stronger than before, but now you remember it as it happened, not as you wished it had. You fought against the woman with the invisible blade, and you crept past the guards at the base of the stair. Oh, this! Oh, okay. So you guys remember this? This was right in the very first episode. The woman with the invisible blade, they were outside a tower. And apparently, yeah, I made a decision there, but there was... You remember it as it happened, not as you wish it had. That's quite telling. You fought against the woman with the invisible blade, and you crept past the guards at the base of the stair, and you descended into the basement of your tower. It's my tower. You activated generators and ascended to the command platforms on the heights. The nearby panels buzz and crackle with unseen energy. The shields, you mutter. We need the shields now. You press several buttons, and generator coughs into life, and the light flickers for a moment. A faint veil of energy encircles the city, and then there is a strange and terrible stillness, as if the world held its breath. The rest of the memory is bloodshed. The humans of Sagas Cliffs made the stranded Tabat pay. And then, the memory fades. You know now that the nano who saved the city became the changing god. You know it was he who defeated the Tabat. You remember the hatred. But you do not remember the girl who was with you. What was her name? The genocide watches you silently. You seem very calm for someone who has been imprisoned for centuries. I have been defeated, he says. I have nothing to fight for. My captor castrated me with a tool they made to dampen my natural urges. I can remember the actions, I can recall the glory, but I feel... shame. Regret. I am weakened, but not by my volition. The genocide squeezes his fists. What does it matter? Those who stood against me are all dead. I am victorious. I no longer fight with a blade. My weapon is time. He leans closer. I do not die. I cannot be wounded. I am held like a beetle in sap. Why would I not be serene? He settles back. The underspine spoke of my destiny. I was to wage war onto the edge of the universe, but the universe keeps going, and so, it seems, must I. Someday I will be free. Someday. Until then, I am incorruptible. Well, you seem to be quite corrupted already from your original one. If you feel shame about your actions before, it seems that you're no longer the same person, I guess. But then again, I don't really understand why people misunderstood your name. Because... it seems that you are pretty much just conquering. I mean, I get what he was saying is he can be a benevolent conqueror, but he's still a conqueror. So I guess the genocide is more of a consequence than actually what he wants to do. So how did they stop you from trying to escape? The nano who raised the city's shields created a device. He called it the Mind Seer. With it, he violated my mind, my memories, and everything there was at the core of my being. In a fit of vengeance, he tore truths from me. He made me betray my people. He rewrote my mind. He gave me perfect clarity into the past and gelded my ability to shape the future. The Tabat never sought revenge against foes who were mightier than we. We devised stratagems to defeat them. We tested ourselves. We did not punish or hate. Punishment was purification. This, though, is torture. The worst of the city's refuse can mock me now. They can ridicule and jape, and I am powerless to strike them for their impudence. Then quieter, and he says, and now they do not even do that. I have become a fixture, an irrelevance, a non-entity. I am the slave to the two peacemakers. I must endure their presence and feel their corruption sink into me daily. Some foreign part of me desires it, but I remember that I will triumph over them. Eventually, they will die, and I will not. The Nano who created you was the changing god. He and his children still live. His voice is flat and dead. Others have claimed this. I do not know if they say this to torment me, but if our enemy was a god, even if he was once but a man, then to stand against him is to spit in the face of the divine. The Tabath were a holy people. Humans do not believe it, but our rites were as sacred to us as they were profane to your kind. We accepted the will of the ineffable. Any who still live may yet find the mantle of godhood. To be divine is to be beyond the rule of mortal ethics. Those who would be gods must cast aside these concerns if they are to turn against the old teachings. I'm not really sure. I feel pity for the guy. I mean, punishment and torture against his kind, if what he says is right, it's really not what you should do. You should just, it's like you don't punish or torture a stone in your shoe. You take it out, and basically you need to take these guys out. If that means killing them, then so be it. I mean, as the defender right now, because they clearly can't coexist with anybody else, and even with themselves if what he says is true. I mean, we were out of enemies, we were pointless. Yes, you were, but you were pointless all along, not just at the end. So you mentioned the Tabat. Who or what are they? My people, his voice is forlorn. Great warriors. We owed this land. We served the Underspine, and it serves us. Is that the Earth? Is that what he means, Underspine? Is that the Earth? We sought truth in victory. We ascended to epiphany. We were pure, incorruptible, indivisible even in disunity. Wait, you're just saying words right now, mate. We found strength in one another and proved it with bloody blades, but we fell. And the Underspine fell. And so, too late, we learned a new truth. But I carry the old ways as a seed within my heart. Can you tell me about the Underspine? What is that? Our slave, our god, our prize. It kept us holy, kept us pure and unchanging, anchored to a fixed point. The world turned around us, but we remained constant. When the world brought inconstancy, we fed it blood. The Underspine was our soul, our confessor. We knew clean, hard rapture from it. We knew our path. It gave us the word of the ancient Tabat, and our path was rigid and unbending. Absolute. Yeah, but what was the Underspine? He considers, you would not understand. It was a machine. It was a stone. It was a cavern. It was a city. It was the direct voice of our ancestors. It spoke in our heads and in our ears and in our hearts. We heard its voice in our crutches, in our daily instructions. Our God was true and strong and singular, not the fickle, inconstant things of the modern day. Yeah, and you're just an oaf. Why so much repetition? Stop that! I hate this guy. Okay, so, yeah, what's the benefit of an absolute path? We had no questions about our duty, about our goals, only the particulars. We raised doubts in the purity of utter certainty. Questions raised are questions answered, or they are heresy. No need for self-agony. The necessity of introspection was transmuted into optimization of our paths, into fashioning ourselves into the pinnacle of our achievement. Clear definition in life creates truth, not this pitiful shadow. So you're just fanatic zealots. Okay, sounds good. Because shadow is the way for the light. Because shadow is everything that matters. At least so my character believes. And so do I, by the way. But yeah. So what happened to the Underspine? You can hear the frown in his voice. Sabotage or failure. One of those under my command told me that I had whispered defeat into his ears, as if it had sickened, lost sight of the true path. Given the question, the Underspine denied this. My soldier was cast out, and I suffered the barb of his doubt. It was later, years later, that the Underspine broke, after our failure, and I had never been sure if the seeds of 4-hour defeat were planted in those days. He shuffles his feet. The nano who captured me, who nailed me to time. He used the Mind Seer to ferret out the Underspine's location. I do not know if he ever found it in the world. He raped a genocide from me and mocked me with his sobriquet or sobriquet. I don't know what that means. I was not a... I don't know what that means. I was not to blame, he says. I will not stand before the Underspine and swear my innocence. Oh, you will stand. Oh yeah, I will stand before the Underspine and swear my... Okay. Yeah, if your path... Yeah, that's true. If your path was unbending, it's no wonder you broke. I do not bend now. I have been driven down, but I do not bend. I leave, and those stood against me are dead. He turns away from you slightly. Do you have more questions, or do you release me? No, I have more questions. So, you mentioned the shield generators. Can you tell me about them? I think I'm gonna need to use them somehow, maybe, in the future. I don't know. I told you their effect, he says. They unmoored the city in time. They severed our supply lines, they left us vulnerable, and defeated us. The Underspine strategy failed us. I began to doubt. He shifts slightly. The generators are unused, abandoned, their purpose forgotten, though the people of this city will swear by our name, and our terrors are fresh in their nightmares despite the passage of centuries. They have forgotten the means of their salvation. This one, besides me, no longer functions. Oh, so this is one of the shields then. But one of the others is buried in the ground, not far from here, and has not yet failed. It powers the clock around which those ridiculous fools prance. It's so good that we talked to you! It's important then. This is important. I think I need to go to the underbelly then. Because it's buried in the ground. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. No, I wish you no good tidings. Well, your wish is pointless. I really like that I got amnesias or whatever that is. Because I'm not really sure, you know, what the word is for, but I really like what the skill is for, because that means that I'm not the Changing God, but I know a lot about what the Changing God was trying to do. That thing is amazingly powerful for what we're trying to achieve. This machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine, as though they have touched them before. Let's examine the device, but I was just talking about this. I think I will be able to pass this with ease. 100% right there, and this one is 80%. That's good. It's good. Hiccups. Let's go with that. No critical? Please give me a critical success. Now you close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you, or at least not the body you are in. And you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Okay, so didn't really learn too much from there. Your hands slip over the cobbled together components of the greasy cables, the buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine, clumsy but deft, amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you this device was used, though you don't know how, to generate a field that unmoored everything within it from time itself. Your fingers scrape a rough patch, lifting them. You see a Circinate symbol. Is that like circular? Etched into the side of the maker's mark. Oh, like a maker's mark. Can I see anything else? No. Okay. Circinate symbol. It's a maker's mark. I wonder if that's the thing over there. The implications of unmooring something from time is actually quite important. If you can shift the time, a time machine basically is really, the thing is, it's really tricky to see the implications on how the game would work with that, because let me just save the game over here, because you know, can use it to travel. You know, inertia is a big problem because of time. You can use it to masquerade the city because light wouldn't get in because there's no time there and there's no time for light to travel. Although what the effect of that would be, you need to think of that. I'm not a physicist. I don't know anything about physics. Well, I know a few things about physics, but not enough to just even begin to imagine what would happen if like time would stop to exist in a specific place. Although a black hole is probably what would happen. I think that's probably what would happen. You just get a black hole. Not a black hole in terms of what a black hole actually is, that attracts everything, but just a black hole in terms of the light that would come from there. So we don't have the event horizon and all that sort of stuff that a black hole has. But yeah, let's go to the underbelly. I think this might be where we need to go, especially if we can find a place to sleep in here. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. We got green stuff. We got thugs in here. We got a popper. Hey man, do you need to talk to me or something? You ain't no on the scrounge, are you? Ain't enough here for both of us. No, I don't know what the scrounge is. Interrupting a chat's a good way to get suckered. You like barging into conversation, huh? Well, actually, I'm fine with that, yeah. Tiny dwellings are carved into the rock wall, furnished with reeking bedrolls and bug-infested rags. Yeah, looks like that's the case. We got a lot of stuff over here. We got a lot of thugs and a mutant over there. I wonder if he's gonna be... Oh! This is the Cult of the Changing God again. Oh, hello. I know you. You're dead. Huh. The mutant? I'm dead? You shouldn't sleep. Things catch up with you. Oh, he's crazy. Okay. Oh, boy. Manufacturing worker. This is very noisy in here. I love that. I mean, for you, it's kind of really problematic, I guess, but you can still hear me. It's fine. I'm looking at the volume. It's cleaners. Clean the... Oh, that's a robot talking right there. Okay, it looks like we have some sort of... I don't really know what this is. Hundreds of broken Numenera are piled here. The workers are scavenging them for parts if they're useful, or throwing them into the furnace if they're not. Hey, don't throw them away! I want to see them, because I'm better than you at detecting if something is useful. So I got workers around here. They probably won't say anything. There are worse ways to spend a day. Bit warm, though. A bit too warm, I guess? Are these the furnace? Let's have a chatty with this guy, see if the... There it is. The game kind of takes a step back in terms of the sound. Good stuff. Excuse me. At first glance, this ancient, unmoving construct seems nearly identical to the others in the manufactory. It is only when you move close into the hazy aura of forge light that you see the intricate, no, chaotic whirls of engravings making every millimeter of its armored frame, and the workers standing behind it is adding even more. You feel a bubbling sensation in your mind. It must be the construct's surface thoughts, but they are too quick and alien for you to make any sense of them. Morning, the construct says. It is morning, isn't it? I never pay attention to the time. There's not much use for it down here. Firelight twinkles off the construct's blank eyes. I am Artisan. What can I do for you? Huh. There's very descriptive names in this world. It's interesting. Can you tell me about your past? To be honest, I don't like thinking about it. All of us went slightly insane during our centuries down here before the humans came, but the other foremen and I don't dwell on things like Master Foreman does. Foreman? He's an artisan. Huh. Master Foreman? Oh, maybe... Are there... Anyway, an ember drifts down the high ceiling between you. If you want the whole story in excruciating detail, Master Foreman's the one to ask. Yeah, who should I talk to about the history of the foreman? Master Foreman. Don't say I send you, though. Okay. I don't know why I asked that again, but there we go. I'm not gonna say that he sent him, that he sent me. So, why do you have your workers decorating your armor? Because I want to be the most beautiful construct in Saga's Cliffs, the construct declares. The workers behind him chuckles. Joking, it says. My eyes, well, not eyes, but, you know, they failed a long time ago. But my other senses are good. Very good. So that when my workers want to show me a design, they scratch it out on my plate. I feel it and give them feedback. Not that some of them need. Not that some of them need it. Oh, okay. So, it's a long time to be blind. Why can't anyone repair you? The easiest answer to that question is we don't have the parts, Artisan says, then lowers his voice. But the truth is, I'm afraid, nothing is going to make me blinder, but it falls silent and the forge hisses and pops nearby. Those first decades in the darkness were the hardest. Then I started seeing patterns in them, simple at first, then with colors, depths, and shade. Grand cyclical designs, it sighs happily. I still see them, and I wouldn't trade them for sight. It's an interesting thing. I mean, his mind is creating his own visuals, I guess. To be perfectly honest, these artists don't need me anymore. They've done wondrous work in the city above, but they like asking my opinion. The construct barks a laugh, and I like giving it. Man, it's interesting that a construct has such a cheerful, especially a blind one, that apparently seems to stay still. It doesn't move. But it's interesting that it has such a cheerful attitude, and not just the attitude, but the personality as well. That's kind of interesting. What do your workers focus on again? Decorative etchings, creative use of color and negative space, general aesthetics, and fiddly bits. Okay, so can you show me something your workers have created? Absolutely. Hold on a second. Let me get a sense of what might appeal to your tastes. Nested sensors whir into life on its shoulders, and beams of light fan over you in the space of a heartbeat. Not so interested in the arts, I see. Larga, get our visitor the contents of store box 3/9. A few minutes later, a stalker hurries out and places a heavy object in your hands. No charge, Artisan says. Call it a gift. And it's a globe of Zrul. Unfortunately, that's my third... Oh, it's an oddity. Wait a minute. This thin globe clearly depicts an unknown world. Does it? The more you look at it, the more details you discover, as if the globe somehow enhances and concentrates your vision as you examine it. I don't think we'll need that. That's Zrul. That's an unknown world. Yeah, we're not gonna go there. But it's interesting. So, what's your opinion on your fellow foreman? Well, I don't like to speak poorly of my family. The construct breaks off when the worker behind it snickers. It's true. They're difficult in their own ways, of course. We argue, and here, no, wait, what am I saying? Here, we means... Oh, yeah, okay, so, yeah, we argue, and here, we means Master Foreman and me. So that's how you should say that sentence. But, that's to be expected. We've known one another for millennia, understand? We went through decades of angry silence until, well, we learned to accept each other as we are. Yeah, Master Foreman has beliefs, exhausting ones that it can't help inflicting on others, and our broken friend wants to die, I think. Puts it a different way, but he does. And though we bicker, I care for them. Well, how couldn't I, after thousands and thousands of years? Oh, so he wants to die, Master Foreman? Okay. Farewell, Artisan. Thank you for the glove. Go enjoy the sunlight for me. Huh. What a charming fellow. What a charming fellow. Anyway, we're down here. Soundtrack is awesome. Just absolutely brilliant. Beautiful to no end. And of course it has different takes, but this track right now with a faint piano notes at the background, they're phenomenal. Let's go up here for the end of the episode, because otherwise those machines are gonna deafen us. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Torment, Tides of Numenera. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye!